headlines. Court clears former Special Duties Minister on money laundering charges. Federal High Court denies suspended DSP Abba Kyari accomplice bail. Traders occupying Apangwon call on federal government to rescind 7-day ultimatum. And on the foreign scene, negotiators from Kiev and Moscow prepare for another round of talks next week. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Ibrahim Yusuf. Now the news in full. A federal high court in Abuja on Monday discharged and acquitted former Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Kabiru Turaki, of money laundering charges. In a ruling on the no-case submission filed by the defense, Justice Inyang Ekwo said the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had failed to link Turaki and his co-defendants with the offences contained in the 16-count charge. He said that the prosecution could not establish a prima facie case against them. Justice Ekwo said that the defendants dislodged all evidence of the prosecution witnesses called in the matter during cross-examination, describing the 12 witnesses relied on by the EFCC as tainted witnesses. The News Agency of Nigeria reports that the EFCC had, in the 16-count charge, accused the ex-minister and others of unlawful and criminal misappropriation of 715 million naira. Meanwhile, a federal high court sitting in Abuja on Monday ordered the transfer of the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, and 6 others that are facing drug trafficking charges with him to the Kuje Correctional Center. Trial Justice Emeka Nweke ordered the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, to transfer the defendants to prison custody shortly after he denied them bail. The court held that the NDLEA placed sufficient materials before it to warrant the refusal of bail to Kyari and his co-defendants. The court equally denied bail to former members of the IRT, ACP Sunday Ubia, Inspector Simon Agirba, and Inspector John Nuhu. Meanwhile, Justice Wike ordered accelerated trial of the defendants and fixed April 28th for the review of facts in respect of the case against Omebe and Ezenwane.
Abba Kyari is facing charges bordering on deals in illicit drugs. He's already facing extradition to the United States on charges of wired fraud. The second defendant, who is an assistant superintendent of police, is under investigation for money laundering and may face charges on some offences.
We have moved to bail applications in regards to the top defendants, and the court has adjourned for the 27th of April for the ruling. And because the last sitting, we were served a counter affidavit, which of course we responded to. And based on that, we moved our motion to bail. And the court adjourned for 27th. We are hoping that the judge will benevolent their request grant us 1 out of the 7 kola nuts before the court.
Recall that the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, and the second defendant opted for bail application because of medical conditions. But according to NDLEA, the medical condition of suspended Abba Kyari, it's not beyond its capacity. And on this premises, among other strong cases that was made by the NDLEA against suspended DCP Abba Kyari, his bail application was not granted by the court. And one thing worthy of note is that, yes, we have the NDLEA personnel waiting for the suspended DCP Abba Kyari and other applicants to get out of court, but it seems that they will be handed over to the Nigerian Correctional Service because his prayer to remain under the custody of the NDLEA was not granted by the court. And one thing also worthy of note is the fact that on the 28th of April has been set aside to review the cases of the 6th and 7th defendants who pleaded guilty to the charges.
After the sitting, waited almost 5 hours for the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police to be handed over to the Nigerian Correctional Service, which eventually happened. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now to matters of insecurity, where bandits on Sunday abducted Catholic parish priest of St. Mary's Catholic Church, Sarkimpawa, the headquarters of Munya local government area of Niger State, Reverend Father Leo Raphael Ozigi, and 44 other villagers. The Secretary, Niger State Chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Pastor Raphael Opawe, confirmed the abduction, explaining that the bandits abducted the Reverend Father on his way to Gwada from Sarkimpawa when he ran into bandits operating on the Sarkimpawa-Gwada road, who whisked him away alongside other villagers. The Secretary, Munya Local Government, James Jagaba, described the renewed banditry operations in Munya Local Government since Saturday as pathetic. Reports say the 44 abducted villagers were among those who returned to their communities from IDP camps on Saturday. According to reports, bandits in their numbers blocked the main road to Sarkimpawa from Gwada and Mina and have been operating unchallenged since Saturday, moving freely on the Sarkimpawa-Gwada road, and with the herds of cattle they rustled during their numerous attacks on communities. Gunmen on Monday attacked the Otoko divisional police headquarters in the Ogbo area of Imo State, leaving 2 police officers injured. The public relations officer, CSP Mike Abatam, who had confirmed the incident, said the command has launched an investigation into the incident. Reports say the sounds of weapons were terrifying as many residents ran into the bushes, while others took cover in their houses. The injured policemen were said to have been rushed to an undisclosed hospital for treatment. The police spokesman said the operatives gave the gunmen a hot chase, and while combing the bush, the following items were recovered: 3 undetonated explosives, 4 expended AK-47 rifle ammunition, 5 live cartridges, 33 expended cartridges, 2 masks, 1 pump-action gun, and a motor saw machine. And the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 17 suspects who were conveying 8 tankers containing over 360,000 liters of illegally refined automated gas oil. Parading the suspects at the exhibit yard of the command of the Corps, the public relations officer of the NSCDC, Emeka Peters, said the civil defense is committed to ridding the state of vandalism and illegal oil bunkering and called for quicker dispensation of justice. He said the arrest was successful following the Commandant General's Special Intelligence Squad efforts to fight against vandalism, illegal oil bunkering, and crude oil theft in the Niger Delta region. The spokesperson added that while investigation is ongoing, the Corps will go beyond the arrest of the conveyors of the illegal products to those behind oil theft and illegal refining.
Suspects currently are under investigation, intensive investigation, to get first-hand information not only on the drivers and the suspect, but information that will lead us down to the creeks, their informants. How do they get this product? Where do they get it? Yeah. But what we are using this opportunity to also beg that the judicial process should also speed up the case of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, so that, because like as you can see now, the yard is getting filled up. It is no longer business as usual when we only arrest the drivers and their motorboy. This time around, we'll go down to the creeks, we'll arrest the owners of the trucks, we'll arrest their sponsors, we'll also arrest and prosecute owners of landed properties being used for these dastard acts. We have confiscated properties used for pipeline vandalism and crude oil theft in the country.
Members of the Aromo Letie Show Market Association in Apambong are calling on the federal government to rescind its 7-day ultimatum and allow them to occupy the underbridge environment. The traders, in their numbers with various inscriptions on their placards, said they have no place to go after the 7-day notice. The traders said markets affected by the directive include the Aromo Letie Show Market, Shoe and Bag Market, Erewolede Market, ECOWAS Market and Ashereje Market. This comes a few days after the popular Apambong Market was gutted by fire. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu told them to leave the premises as all occupants of under bridges in Lagos State will be forced out of the bridges and possibly relocated to a befitting environment for their trade.
Similarly, and so I want to use you men, gentlemen of the press, to let's pass on this information. Government is not about making life any more difficult for its citizens. That's not the plan. But it's for the citizens to know that their commerce and their activity needs to be done in proper markets, in places that have been designated as proper markets. I will work with the special advisor CBD and the local government chairman. I will see how we bring forward representative of the traders, and we can both identify where we can reallocate or relocate them to very, very, very quickly. And these are some of the things that we're going to do to ensure that they do not miss their source of livelihood. But to go back to how it's been done is to mean that we're being reckless, because we cannot be assured of the safety, of this bridge, if we have to take them back there. And so we'll go to Obalide as well, and we're also going to repeat the same thing. It's about time in which we need to get people off under the bridges. Because once it happens, once things like this happen, it affects everyone. It affects the entire economy of Lagos, and that is certainly not acceptable.
Now to election matters, where the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it has registered additional 57,719 voters in the ongoing continued voters registration in Nasarawa State. INEC Director, Voter Education and Publicity in the state, Shehu Mengaga, said this in an interview with Trust TV in Lafia. Abubakar Abdullahi filed in this report.
The INEC Director of Voters Education and Publicity in the state, Shehu Menyaga, who said with the assenting of the new Electoral Act into law by the President, the Commission has already placed notice on the 2023 general elections across the 13 local government areas of the state, explained that apart from the already over 1 million voters that registered, 57,719 new intended voters have also registered with the Commission in the state.
So far, the new addition is 57,719, and before this, we had over 1 million registered. As part of preparation for 2023 election, we decided to embark on the registration of voters to give an ample opportunity or window to some people that are not registered before, and those that have just attained 18 years and above. Then those who have issued the previous elections with the BDCs. Apart from that, those with the cases of failed or lost voters cards will be attended to.
The INEC Director maintained that the state, which before now has only 1,495 polling units, but because of the increase in the number of voters per polling unit, the Commission created 1,761 new polling units in the state in order to reduce congestion in the centers.
Number of, that's the whole number, the existing polling units, 1,495. Number of new polling units, 1,761, 1,761, totaling 3,256 polling units. We will do something, and that was congestion, overcrowding in some of the units. So that was why the Commission decided to decongest some of these polling units by turning voting point and voting point settlement into full-fledged registration of polling units.
He also speaks on some of the challenges the Commission is facing while discharging its functions.
Congestion, overcrowding in some of the units. So that was why the commission decided to decongest some of these polling units by turning voting point and voting point settlement into full-fledged registration of polling units.
Menenga called on people of the state to always cooperate with the Commission for Election Success. Abubakar Abdullahi, Trust TV News, Lafia.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up after the break, how Abuja roadside artist survives. This and more after the break. Do stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now we'll look at our top stories. Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday discharged and acquitted former Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Kabiru Turaki, of money laundering charges. And the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Monday ordered the transfer of the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, and 6 others facing drug trafficking charges with him to the Kuje Correctional Center. Now moving on to other stories, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, in Gombe State says allegations of extortion against its personnel by the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Gombe State chapter, are not true. Addressing a state press conference, Commandant of the NSCDC in Gombe State, Wazir Goni, challenged IPMAN to produce evidence to prove the allegations. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Last week, members of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Gombe State, had in a press briefing accused personnel of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, in the state of unlawful arrest and extortion, which IPMAN said compelled members to go on strike to protest. But in a press conference, the NSCDC debunked the allegations, insisting that it has acted professionally to maintain sanity in petroleum business in the state.
Either he will side out that person that collected money from him, or will take him to court. Actually, we'll take him to court because we'll not allow an individual to spoil the image of this organization. We are very credible, we are working towards why? You see, to please the public, to do our job very well, and then to incite good sentiment on everybody. The reason why our officers are going out to look into these problems of hiking prices beyond government regulations is that to bring sanity. Most of these points that they are claiming to be saying that they bought it 200, 300 naira per liter from other settings. It's not true.
The commandant said some IPMAN members were arrested over irregularities but released on bail condition and will be charged to court.
So there is that one of the 2 or 3 of the owners, they said they didn't tell them to sell like that. You see, more especially inside there can say, no. My own is 165. Is it not true? It's yes. Okay, one of those vehicles loaded with foil, drums. He said, no, I go for our manager. But soon as he couldn't, there was one time a manager was arrested here abroad with this type of things, around 2 o'clock in the night. Our own cause is not only the fries, but peeling inside drums and jerrycans. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the night.
The recent dispute between members of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria (IPMAN) and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has worsened fuel scarcity in Gombe State. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And a group in Kano is advocating capital punishment for violence against women and the girl child in Nigeria to guard against rising cases of abuse and sexual harassment. At a one-day symposium on how to empower women, experts believe that promoting gender equality in Kano is key to a sustainable development. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibril reports.
Organized by Women Health Empowerment and Emancipation Initiative, this lecture series, marking the International Day for Women, aimed to equip women and girl child with necessary knowledge required to break the bias and promote gender equality in Kano State.
We are trying to push the VAP Act, that's the VAPP Act, and also we are trying to let the Kano State to know that violence against women or any kind of violence action should take place.
The need for self-esteem and women hygiene, gender-based violence, women in business and income generation, among other fundamental rights of women and girl child, are some of the issues deliberated in this lecture.
We want to see a world where women are not being marginalized, there will be no discrimination, and then there will be no stereotypes for women. So basically, the reason for this program is to empower women with information such that they can actually express themselves fully in the society. And then we also want to see where women are taking up spaces, especially for decision making and then even in politics.
According to these women, violence against them and girl child in Kano State and across the country has since become a threat to achieving gender equality, largely due to the absence of sustainable legislative provision in the country.
Majorly, we are concerned about talking about how these crimes are being perpetrated, because if you go online and our media, you see every day is about this person have been caught. Okay, he has kidnapped a girl, he has killed a girl, and he will tell you all the tactics up till the end of how he has done this thing. But hardly do we come to learn and hear about that person has either been killed, either by hanging in whatever way. Yes, it depends on the crime. Like if you murder a child, you kidnap a child and rape her and murder her, of course it should be a capital punishment. You should be killed.
For a long time in Kano State, we've been advocating for the Child's Protection Bill to be passed. And for the penal code, you know, there was a law in 2015 that was passed at the national level, which is the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law in 2015, but Kano State is yet to pass that law.
At the end of this meeting, participants are expected to be fully equipped with necessary knowledge and skills required to break the bias and promote gender equality as a key to sustainable tomorrow in northern Nigeria. Idris Jibril, Trust TV News, Kano.
Art is life, and for many, it is passion. But for Ibrahim Adam, art goes beyond passion. Adam, a resident of Abuja, is into artistry works such as sculpturing, crafting, and sketching. He displays his works beautifully by the roadside to attract buyers, and he speaks on what art means to him.
I did not go to any university. I learned in the streets. So some of my friends used to go and play ball, and I used to just take my pencil, begin, drawing whatever I see. When others are on the playing field, I'm just in my room and drawing, and inspiration are coming to me. That's how I become an artist. The problem we are having in Nigeria is that artists here are not well patronized because Nigeria doesn't have tourism like in other countries. So many artists are suffering, but we only have a little patronage from the domestic patrons that are around about. So globally, I can't say that we have an authority as supposed to be, like in other neighboring countries. When I was a child also, I have some, I used to manufacture a lot of things like toys, and things. I learned weaving, beading works, beadworks and things. I did them by myself. My necklaces, my sister's necklace. So from there, it's from there that I've started to. Because right now, as an artist, I had to come and and display, somewhere that people can appreciate my work. Right now, we don't even have an art center that is proposed to the artists. The artists can stay and work, and still government is still disturbing us with all those things. Sometimes you see task force, they come and pack those works. Last time the damage, I carved some native bed, they burn it down because they don't know the value of artists.
The Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria has appealed to the Central Bank of Nigeria to allow Bureau de Change operators to continue to sell dollars to retail and foreign exchange buyers. In a notice to its members released on the weekend, APCON's National Executive Council appealed to the CBN to revisit the stoppage of dollar sales to the BDCs to bring lasting stability to the Naira. The BDCs disagreed with the claims that the Naira has remained largely stable following the stoppage of dollar allocation to them. According to the union, BDCs remain the most potent tool for the CBN to achieve its forex rate management. Now look at the foreign scene, where Russian delegation leader Vladimir Medinsky has confirmed that talks between Ukraine and Russia will resume next week, but said they will kick off on Tuesday. Ukrainian negotiator David Arahami earlier said the negotiations will start on Monday, naming Turkey as the host country. Medinsky wrote on Telegram that a face-to-face meeting is planned for Tuesday and Wednesday, but did not specify the location. The Turkish president also confirmed the next round of talks between Russia and Ukraine will be held in the Turkish city of Istanbul on Tuesday. Reports say Russia is forcefully deporting 19,600 Ukrainian civilians. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. Don't forget, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.